Hey everyone, this is Kenny or Kent or whatever you want to call me, and you're listening to The Other Show.
Man, I look at you both and I'm just so envious. Like,
Go on.
you've
I mean,
just
list the reasons, Josh.
oh, you want me to be very specific, don't you?
Yeah, please.
Your beards. Your
Oh,
beautiful
okay.
beards, your facial
We'll start
hair.
there.
I'm jealous. Like, seriously.
Have you seen yourself?
I'm trying. That's
By the way, you're looking at me and Casey. Still no Spencer.
Still no Spencer.
So Spencer, wherever you are, maybe bearded, maybe not. But Casey, you have a very handsome beard right now.
I appreciate that.
It's a little wiry at the bottom. I'm going to be honest, like to the point where it's probably a little itchy, right?
No, it's long enough that it's actually like soft now, so it's gotten to that point.
Okay,
but Josh, as much as I want to say thank you for the compliment, you say you're trying to grow a beard. You have a beard, right? Look, you're not going to be a biker anytime soon, but you definitely got facial hair.
You have several patches that almost link up.
Puberty was never my stronghold ever. I think I finally hit puberty at 23. So
yeah, let me ask you this: at what point did you realize that you had to actually shave every other day? Please say it was
2-3 weeks ago, right?
It was actually well into my 30s.
Because I remember I was 19 years old and I, was off to serve an LDS mission and I brought an electric shaver and I needed that thing once a week, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I had like 4 chin hairs that just kind of curled off the bottom of my chin and I just let them grow a little bit long till they were a little inappropriate looking.
Mm-hmm.
But then I remember by the time I hit 20, I was like, okay, I'm getting a pretty good scruff here. Josh, you're saying 30s?
Yeah, where I had to shave at least every 4-5 days, maybe.
Okay.
Wow.
Ish.
Oh man, I've had a beard since I was 22. Like,
okay,
and that's not bragging. The reason I have a beard is because I don't like shaving. It's not because
it's laziness.
It is lazy. Now it is trimmed, as you can tell. I don't if I let it grow, I'll be honest with you guys, it connects down into my chest hair. I mean, it really.
Are you serious? Casey,
I want to see it.
That's disgusting.
Okay, first of all, that's a strong word. So maybe we'll walk that back. Okay.
Listen, when they say neck beards, like, you're now what I'm going to think of.
Yeah. Well, can you call it a neck beard if it connects to your chest hair? And my chest hair goes all the way down. I mean, it's kind of like a sweater underneath here. I mean, there's a lot going on that we don't need to necessarily discuss today. That can be another episode.
Well, there's not a lot going down over here in this neck of the woods.
Yeah, Josh, I'm thinking you're totally bare on the chest, right? Oh,
whoa. That's wild. Okay, look, I mean, come on. You guys are making me feel bad about myself.
Hold on. Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
See, I actually
both like naked mole rats.
So here's the thing. I shave.
You shave your chest. Okay.
You shave the chest hair?
I don't like body hair whatsoever. This is now getting into TMI territory.
Oh my god.
Are you a professional swimmer? Are you like full on like you shaven from your neck down? There's just nothing like
spoiler, he doesn't like water.
Yeah, professional swimmer as in I go to EOS to swim once every 4 months. Yeah. That's what I do. And I am like, what a good workout. I'm so glad I shave.
I'm getting faster.
So, okay, let's hold on. Let's move it back real quick. Josh, we'll come back to you. But Casey, you groom yourself well, but you've had a beard since you were in your younger 20s.
Yes.
It's funny, right? Like, because it does hide men's faces, right? Beards are, as they say, the Spanx for men. They're makeup for men. And that is actually why I don't shave. Like, I keep it 5 o'clock shadow, pretty dark 5 o'clock shadow at all times, because it gives me contour, right?
Absolutely, it does.
For me, it's not laziness, it's vanity. Because when I remember when I had my sad marriage weight up until like 2017, I was probably like 35 pounds heavier, and I would shave my face, and everyone at work would be like, what happened to your face?
Yeah.
And it was just literally my bare face, and I was like, what are you talking about? It's just me. And people are like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, either I need to keep growing facial hair, or lose weight. Like, these people are horrible.
Oh man.
No, I'm not the same way. Like, losing 100 pounds, like, I could probably get away with being clean shaven, but if I, even 50 pounds ago, if I clean shaved my whole face, it felt and looked awkward. Right? Like,
which is funny.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Josh, you currently, just to paint the picture for everybody, you have a pretty dark facial hair compared to your really pasty skin. So
thank you. Thank you.
I just saw your bare chest, so I'm going to call it out. No, it was glowing. So
I mean, it's like a Care Bear stare, if I take off my shirt.
It really was. But you have a mustache going on. You have a little flavor saver right underneath your lip, and you've got a beard wrap around there. Yeah. How long is this going to go for? Like, how long do you tolerate it? And what's the longest you've ever let it go?
This is probably the longest that I've let it go, which has been about 3.5 weeks, I think, now.
Okay, that's pretty good growth for 3.5 weeks.
And it really kind of started with, it's actually somebody from my congregation, from my LDS ward. He's a member of the bishopric, and he has the most glorious, like, neck beard that I've ever seen in my life. Like, I get beard envy really easy. So I'm just talking with him, in the temple, in the celestial room, whatever. And
about beards,
about beards. And I was just talking about how when I saw him for the first time, when I moved into the area, when I moved into the ward and saw him up there on the pulpit, I turned to my wife and I'm like, that beard is amazing. I'm like, I hadn't met the bishop yet. And I'm like, I hope that's the bishop. Not the bishop, but I just said, I've fallen in love with your beard. I'm like, I can't grow a beard to save my life. And he's like, well, actually, I had the same problem for a number of years. And I'm like,
oh my gosh,
what did you do? I'm like, is there an elixir?
Oh, essential oils.
Is there
it was
MLM?
An essential oil scam. Yeah.
Pitch me now. And
his lavender.
Yes. Yep. And he's like, if you just let it grow, he's like, just trim it, here and there, but just let it grow because it will fill in the gaps.
It does fill in. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. And so I've been giving him weekly reports on my beard growth. And, you know, it's been a nice support group, to be honest with you.
Now, a big deal is how your wife feels about it, because there is the level of growth that if you still kiss, that's really the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it exfoliate her skin? And then it gets soft enough. Like, Casey, I'm assuming at the level you keep your beard, there's no rash after kissing.
No,
right?
there's no issue. There's no negative reaction like when it's real short.
I mean, unless you have crumbs in your beard or it kind of tastes like soup. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, but like, are you? How does MaryAnn feel about this, Josh?
She really likes it. And when I trimmed it up, last night, and she really liked it. So, you know.
Well, don't say it that way. That sounded weird.
Yeah, and that little like sly smile and giggle kind of.
I mean, I could be more forward about it if you want me to, but
nope.
She really likes it. So
I'm gonna paint you guys an opposite picture. Well, we're talking about how glorious that beard is. Here's a picture of me. Sorry, viewers at home, you don't get to see this, but this is what my face skin looks like. See if you guys can see that.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to be a plus or a minus from you guys, but let me just tell you, this was the first time I had shaved. This was a couple months ago. First time I had shaved in 5 or 6 years. And that's a clean shaven face right there.
Wow.
You do realize that this is going to be one of the images that Josh uses, right, for the show?
Oh yeah, that's okay. I can send it to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not embarrassed by it. It's just more a question of it's the fact that my wife, when I shaved, I was like, wow, because I've recently lost quite a bit of weight as well.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, I'm not hiding the 4 or 5 chins underneath here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took that picture feeling all good about myself, and I go home and my wife sees me and she's like, I'd shaved before going to the gym early in the morning. So I came home and my wife was awake and she was like, oh, you shaved. And I was like, yeah, how do I look? And she's like, what? Well,
Oh no.
Why did you shave? I was like, I just wanted to see. I haven't seen my face in a while. And she's like, how long are you gonna leave it like that? And I was like, you know what? I'm not. I'm just gonna grow it back tomorrow. Okay, fine.
You're like, it was a prank. It's coming back,
holy
and then
cow. What the heck is that about? So my wife. By the way, when we got married, when we met, when we dated, I was clean shaven. That's just how it was.
It's because that's what she's used to.
She's gotten used to this, and she's not really a fan of the real me anymore. And so I feel like it's makeup I'm not allowed to take off.
Thank you for understanding
standards.
When people are like, "What happened to your face?" It's like, it's my face.
This is me.
I'm assuming your kids kind of freaked out too, because like I remember growing up,
they had never seen me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. My dad always had a mustache of me growing up, and I remember when he decided, oh, it's no longer the 80s, even though it was like 1997,
right?
And he got rid of the mustache because now mustaches are back in, I guess. And we thought it was the weirdest thing to see like that bare upper lip. We're like, get it back. Where's the mustache? But it's kind of uncanny when you get used to the look.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like my goal has always been to have a Henry Cavill type chin. And jawline, right? And then through surgical procedures probably, and then I'll never have to shave because my handsome face will just shine through. But that's never going to happen. So until then, I'm in a nicely manicure 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah. So
it really fits you though. Like I think that the 5 o'clock shadow works for you really well.
Well, I'm to the point now where I do shave it a little bit because I get the gray right in the dimple of the chin, and I'm like, it kind of ages me a little bit, which is fine.
It's gonna spread.
I'm old.
It's gonna start spreading out. Mine is all blonde in here, and all this is gonna turn gray. So I get you.
Oh, it totally is.
My mustache. I don't know if you can see it. This is all gray in my mustache. Guys, I don't know what's happening.
Just in case anyone's wondering, this is not the other show. We're just talking for 12 minutes about facial hair.
Yeah, about facial hair. Yeah. It's a subject that's important to many people, especially us, who all of us have various stages of our facial hair right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
This is part of our life.
Well, and I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this white patch right here?
Just barely, but I know you have one. Yeah,
that's my vitiligo.
Oh, you've got a little spot. That's interesting.
I got the Michael Jackson disease.
Interesting. Right on. I don't know that I've seen it in a beard like that. That's kind of cool.
Yep, it there.
Not to be too mean, Josh, but I thought that was just one of the patches that didn't grow in. So I'm glad that you pointed that out.
You thought it was his very white skin.
I thought that was his skin. I did think that the stark white hair was his skin.
I mean, fair enough.
But now I know it's not, and now that just gives more points to the beard.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe when this gets thicker, maybe I'll do a dye job or anything. Have you guys any?
I don't know that I'd recommend that. I leave it natural.
I'm always going to go natural because from what I hear, the silver fox look is very desirable.
It's very in right now. I mean, right. I was just exactly going to say the same thing. Right now, showing that age is actually very in, and I appreciate that because all of my gray hair is coming in at one time right now. So,
well, Casey, you're fine. You don't need to worry about anything. You know, everything's good for you. We're talking about me here, and there is a certain amount of, like distinguishment and maturity that I want to show, even though I have none. And I think that's going to come with like my saltiness. That's going to come through my sideburns and through my beard.
Absolutely.
So it's going to make me seem more mature because literally
if you really want to jumpstart that, we can actually, that's a thing that some people do. They actually go the other way and they bring a little gray out prematurely with some, bleaching crazy. And dye. I was just going to say, we could really do those sideburns and you could be like a sexy, oh my gosh, the guy from the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could really you could, come on, Kenny, you could really do it.
And I'm stretchy too, so that counts. So Josh, don't worry about it. Josh, please don't do that look.
I don't know how to take it.
That was the opposite look.
I mean,
that was the opposite look you did when you said your wife really liked your facial hair.
It was the opposite.
Okay, guys, we should stop talking about beards real quick.
I think that's enough about facial hair.
Are we sure?
No.
Well, now we're free to talk about whatever we want because everyone's tuned off. So
Casey, thank you for joining us this month. Like, it's been awesome, and you weren't here last week, obviously. Thanks a lot for that. But
sorry,
you were here that first week.
Yes,
and like
for 45 minutes of the 2.5-hour show.
It was a very long segment, and I had a great time. Kent, what did you think about that? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
It was I liked it. I thought it was.
What did you like about it?
Oh, you guys, your camaraderie your rapport.
You didn't listen to it. You didn't listen to it. I know that BS tone.
Could you be more generic? That he didn't listen to it.
No, here's the thing. I did, and I'll tell you why.
Put a lot of effort into that.
Josh, yeah, too much. Your wife was on. Mm-hmm. Casey, you were on.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot.
Did you just read the little show notes?
we had all the More Than Friends on. They came for short segments. It was really cool and beneficial.
You never listened.
Yeah, no, I did not listen to it. It was, guys, it's audiobook length. Mm-hmm. It is 2.5 hours. Mm-hmm. I get enough Marco Polos that length that I don't need to listen to a Josh, sorry, that's a jump scare. A 2.5 hour podcast. That said, I will be listening. It's just so long. Like, you're going to go at 1.5 speed at least.
Oh my gosh. You turn me up to 1.5. I already sound like a chipmunk. That's going to be a problem.
Just out of curiosity here. Do you listen to your podcasts? Anything faster than a 1 point?
Podcasts are always 1 speed. It's always normal, but audiobooks are 1.3 because I want to get through them a little bit faster.
So he rolls through them. Okay.
And then Marco Polos are literally 2 times speed. Because ain't nobody got time for that. Casey, I don't know if you use Marco Polo at all, but
I know Marco Polo. Yes,
it is. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a video walkie-talkie and it's monologuing, and generally Marco Polos can go for as long as people want, and so I let them play, and it's 2 times speed, and so much is lost.
Really, really enjoy talking in one message for 10.
And I mean, I've been guilty of that. I like to talk, but sometimes my responses are like 3 minutes, and I feel bad.
You have 2 podcasts.
So you're saying I like to talk then?
Yeah. I mean, I do too. So, that's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, clearly, listen, Josh, 2.5 hours. We know.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I'm sure, people are listening. It is the top listened to episode that we've ever had.
That is what I'm talking about.
I'm going to tell you why. Because people listened over the course of 7 days because it took them a week to listen to the episode. Like, I'm not going to call out stats or anything. Oh, wait, I mean, it's because Casey's been helping us with the show. That's why.
Yes.
You know what? For someone who wasn't there, you have an awful lot to say about this.
It was good. It was great. I loved your report together. It was so fun.
It's because Casey has Beard Rizz. Let's be honest here.
You really do have Beard Rizz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why when I shaved it, my wife was like, nah, not going to.
You're like, I'll be on a podcast for 45 minutes.
Well,
nothing special.
I'll give you another week to listen to that episode.
Just another week?
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, 2 weeks.
You're going to have to go daily to finish it. So.
Yeah. Just, get about a half an hour out of it each and every day.
Okay.
And you'll be done by the end of the month.
I am back at work, so I do have time to listen to a podcast for that long. Generally, when I'm in the bathroom for 15 minutes at a time. Yeah. So...
Ooh, 15 minutes. You got to pump those numbers up.
My legs fall asleep.
That's fair. Okay.
And then I feel like everyone's judging me because I'm in the single bathroom, right? And it says vacancy on the door or no vacancy,
or occupied,
like a hotel, or occupied. Yeah, why would it say no vacancy? It says occupied.
That's why you don't use the restroom on your same floor.
Josh knows what's up. You go somewhere else.
Don't you dare educate me on bathrooms, Josh. I know my bathroom stuff. I'm not going to go all the way upstairs and be like, I've never seen that guy before.
Hey.
What department are you in? And I'll be like, please don't talk to me.
As long as you don't need a card for entry into that level, it's fair game. Who cares?
Spencer and I used to work at the same company in Idaho, and we knew everybody's shoes. And because we sat near enough each other, we could always comment to each other on who was in the bathroom going peeps and poops. And so, because we could see.
That's a reference to the other show, by the way.
Yes.
And to dogs going to the bathroom outside. Peeps and poops.
Peeps and poops.
No, I actually hate that. I hate stalls because... generally, if I'm wearing sneakers, people know the sneakers, right? Mm-hmm. And people will be like, hey, you ready for that meeting in a half hour? And I'll be like, we're not talking. This conversation's not happening. And so I'll be real quiet. And they're like, can't.
Nope, that's not okay. It's not okay. You're creeping me out just making me visualize someone talking to you.
And the weird thing is they'll be trying to get my attention. I'm dead silent. And then someone will come in to wash their hands and they think that I'm involved in a conversation then. So Kent, what do you think? Are you presenting? I'm like, no.
Nope, I'm pooping.
I am not having a conversation while I'm in here. Oh.
Next time I'm going to say, please don't interrupt me during peeps and poops. So
no, that's just when you kind of groan like.
No, I would never live it down. I mean, that's true. I should just have a business card that I just put underneath the stall. We don't need to do this. Silence.
You know what? This is not something that needs to happen. Thanks for your effort. You can leave now. Please contact me during my scheduled business hours.
I'm glad I'm the only man in my office because that could get awkward.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
Usually people are fighting for the male restroom and you were the only one that gets to use it?
Well, I mean there's professors, but as far as like my office goes,
yeah.
I'm the only guy. So it's kind of nice.
Wow.
And we
actually have that in common, Josh.
Yeah. It's really nice. And I love it too because sometimes, especially when it's a school day and there are students there, mm-hmm. I will usually put a out of order sign on the stall next to me.
So you don't have to have a neighbor.
Mm-hmm. That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Having someone come in and sit down next to you. There's two sides to that story. One, you got a bathroom with like 3 stalls. You walk in there. There's no one in there. It's like ice cold because the air conditioning's awesome. You sit down. You're enjoying yourself. A few minutes go by and someone comes in and sits down next to you. Immediately, the experience and the ambiance are kind of ruined. It's not great, but you know what? There could be worse things. The worst thing is when you walk into the bathroom and instead of it being ice cold and empty, there's 2 guys on either side of that middle stall, and it's hot in there because people are working. Mm-hmm. And you're like, you know what? I actually have to go to the bathroom. It's not just break time. So you have to sit down in the midst of the jungle sweat that's going on in there. And it's just Casey, not a great experience.
You leave. You do not sit down in that middle stall no matter what.
Oh, man. I look, when you really got to go, I mean, you got to go. And
I'm sorry. I think it's actually more uncomfortable if I'm in the stall already and someone comes sits next to me. Literally not next to me.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's bad because I've already been in there for 7 minutes, and then someone is just about to begin their stuff, and I will not. I will wait. And I've said this before on a previous show, but like a bacon cell. But I am a bathroom ninja. No one will know I'm in there, and so I will
Do you
wait.
Lift your feet up?
No, I won't. But listen,
okay.
I will not make a sound until they leave, and so I will make sure.
Same. I am the same way.
I'll play chicken all day, and so I will generally be in there about 17 minutes at that point. And if they're playing chicken too,
I envy that. I mean, you guys, that's awesome.
No, it's not awesome. It's a actual trauma.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's not just a hey, this is my private time. It's I cannot make noise because the anxiety is too much.
100%.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that is a problem. Now, I've also been I've been on the receiving end of some. Look, I understand that a bathroom's a bathroom. It's a place you go to do certain things. We all understand. But I'm more like you guys. I'm on the quieter side, especially when there's other people in there. I've had people roll in, sitting down. They drop like the most obnoxiously
careful.
Loud. Yeah, I am obnoxiously loud. I mean, their body, they're making grunts out of their mouth, the grunting out of other orifices, and I'm just like, look, again, it's the bathroom, but like when you're in a public bathroom and there's just no holding back. And I'll tell you guys right now, I could never do that. I could never roll in there and just erupt Mount Vesuvius, clean up in peace like nothing ever happened.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I don't know if I'm as ninja as you guys are.
I'll tell you this.
Some people...
Having recently been to the Salt Lake Airport, which I don't love the new design of the Salt Lake Airport. Nobody does, because that beat concourse is ridiculous. But their bathroom setup is amazing. It is tier 1. The stall walls go all the way down to the floor. So people are making all the noise they can because no one's going to know who was in there, right?
That's amazing.
It's like private offices.
It really is true, though, because there's this anxiety that comes when your feet are exposed, because even if you are a complete stranger, there is that thought that somebody's going to recognize you
my
by
ankle
your
tattoos.
Shoes. Yes,
I know.
Or your ankle tattoos. Oh, there's those 3 butterflies. That's Kent.
Why did both of our minds go there, Josh? I thought I was going to say, "Oh, the little stars are daisies on his ankle," and you said butterfly. Wait,
guys,
Kent, why does that come to mind?
On my left leg, it's stars and daisies. On my right, it's butterflies.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, that's right.
So
I'll remember that.
So I'm in the middle stall. You guys are on the other ends.
Yeah.
Playing with fire. Okay. Anyways, Casey, you weren't here last week. Where were you? What have you been up to? Because we haven't honestly talked since F1 was in Vegas.
Yeah, it's been a little while. So we actually got out of Vegas for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest football fan. I mean, I can appreciate the game and the teams, and I have a general following of what's going on, but nothing super specific. But we got out of town, and we actually went on a cruise. We drove to California and sailed out of the pier there, and we went to Cabo San Lucas for
cool.
It was a 5-day cruise. Nothing super duper fancy. It wasn't like, flying across the country and going to the Caribbean. But for those easy cruises that you can kind of just drive to the dock and get on, it was awesome. We took our kids. We went with my parents and one of my brothers, so it was a little bit more of a family affair.
Okay.
And honestly, all things considered, it went really well. One of the most interesting aspects of it was that because it covered last week, I was on the boat for the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day.
Okay.
How does that work?
Right?
Because there's 2 different kind of like clientele, really.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You might think that, but as much as the cruise line I went on was Princess Cruises. The only thing I can say about Princess is that it caters a little bit more to older people. We went on that line
a little bit.
And you don't have to know a ton about cruise lines to understand that Princess is for the old people. All the old guys that were on the cruise were wild about the Super Bowl. I mean, just filling up the deck. So they're these old guys, pasty old guys. I mean, we're talking Josh in 30 years.
I'm not offended. I'm not offended.
Casey, I like that you were offended for him 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, I got to pile on.
Yeah.
Really what I'm doing is instigating. I'm not offended for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So all these old guys that were we're talking, their skin is immaculate because it hasn't seen the sun in, I don't know, 40 years.
For sure.
And so these guys with their shirts off, like hiding under towels on the beach chairs, watching on the 40-foot screen that they've got up on the deck of the cruise ship. And it was beautiful weather. It was 70 degrees, and they were playing the Super Bowl loud and proud. And because the game, as you guys know, went long, the formal night on cruises, they have nights where you kind of get dressed up in a suit, or in the old days it was a tuxedo. The formal night was scheduled for that Sunday night. There was only one because it was a short cruise. And shortly after the Super Bowl started, about 3:00, there was apparently, I didn't see this, but a massive amount of complaints from a huge amount of the passengers on board. And so they made an announcement over the ship speakers that said, due to the conflict with the Super Bowl, many of our guests expressed, concern about not being able to go to formal night because they wanted to watch the Super Bowl, which was going to go deep into dinner time.
Oh, geez.
And so they actually moved formal night to Valentine's Day. And so the dining room on Sunday night was absolutely empty. I was in there because I was just sitting there kind of watching it on my phone. And so we were there with my kids and the rest of the family, and everybody else was out on the deck of that boat watching the Super Bowl on this enormous screen. And it was kind of a cool setup, especially for that tight game, for the how it ended the way it did. I mean, it was kind of a cool setting to be in. But on the other hand, Josh, like you said, then comes the idea of the Valentine's crew. It was cool. I would say that there were a lot more younger-ish people. We're talking people our age on the boat, probably because of the Super Bowl. But the older crowd definitely was more excited about Valentine's Day. And so it was an interesting combination of people sailing with us.
It'd be really interesting if it was Carnival Cruise, because that would have been such a huge contrast.
It absolutely
we've only known each other now for like 3 days, but I love you, babe.
Yes. Are you stereotyping Carnival cruisers?
He is, and you know what? I'm right there with you, Josh. I mean,
know.
Seriously.
My first cruise was a Carnival cruise.
Same.
15 years ago. It's going to be 15 years now, in March, so in just a few weeks. It was spring break. My roommates and I, when we were at SUU, planned this out, booked our tickets and everything. And then my sister decided to get married the weekend before spring break. Long story short, we found out that we were booked on the same cruise. So we carpooled together from Salt Lake to San Diego on their honeymoon night. And yeah, I was the honeymoon third wheel for my sister's honeymoon night. And yeah, and then we proceeded to run into each other way too much during that spring break cruise.
Wait. So I've never been on a cruise at all.
Really?
I'd be fine with doing Carnival. No? Royal Caribbean? What should I do?
It really depends.
Royal Caribbean is kind of the happening line right now. I mean, there's a lot of different cruise lines that you have pros and cons, but I would say you'd be fine on any of them for your first cruise.
Yeah,
genuinely. I mean,
even Carnival.
Carnival. I think my experience. Yes, it was spring break. Mm-hmm. Going into it, we understood that, being a group of Mormon boys, not drinking, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, we're probably missing an element that most of the people our age were out there doing, and it was kind of annoying because we'd be asleep in our cabin at like 3:00 in the morning, and I kid you not, two nights in a row, all we heard was the girl in the cabin next to us crying about how, I can't do this anymore. I just want to go home. And by the second night, we just pounded on the wall like, then go home.
She's on a cruise. She can't.
She can get left behind.
I mean, you make a fair point.
I mean, just hop off on Ensenada and then take an Uber.
Okay.
I don't know. But anyway,
listen, I will be taking your advice when and if I decide to do a cruise, maybe next year or something. Because I've got a few trips planned. Casey, I know you went to Disneyland though, like a month ago.
Yeah, in January.
Right? Okay,
we've been a little busy at the beginning of the year. All this stuff got planned up against each other last year, but I just, I know that we've got a Disney mega fan right here in our midst. And Josh, this is gonna come off as a flex. It's not a flex. It's something that I hope.
Did you make out with a midget in Club 33?
If that's all it takes to impress you, I've got way more than that. But
go on.
I know this is gonna sound like a flex, but this isn't a flex. I hope you can appreciate this as opposed to resenting me, because there are people that resent me now for this, which I guess I don't blame them.
I mean, go ahead.
I spent an entire day.
Mm-hmm.
I will, with an asterisk, not at my expense.
Mm-hmm.
10 hours of Disney VIP on the first day of my 3-day trip.
Oh,
do you know what that is?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay.
You had a plaid with you, right?
Yeah, I had a plaid. So we had a guide that took our group through Disneyland, and what they do is they walk you to the front of all the lines or in the exits if there aren't like the fast pass lanes and stuff. And so we cruised the entire park and went on every ride as many times as we wanted to. We had VIP seating for the fireworks show. We got to do anything and everything that we wanted to do at a moment's notice because we had this person that wore a plaid vest. Those are the VIP guides that took us all around and fulfilled all of our dreams at Disneyland. And so
same guide for 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
How big was your group?
10 people.
And how do they choose these 10 people?
No. Sorry. The group was my family. So what you do is it was my brother who, through interesting circumstances, he's the one who arranged all of this, and his kids and my wife and my kids. They just happen to, they take 10 people at a time, up to 10 people. You can do VIP all by yourself if you want to, but it's horrendously expensive. Yeah, I mean, horrendously expensive. And so, and by the way, I'm going to shout it out here only for people that don't know, because I didn't know. it ranges between $300 and $900 an hour, depending on the time of year and Disney World, Disneyland. I mean, so it was an extreme privilege. It was a once in a lifetime thing. And we did that on our first day of 3. So the other 2 days we got to take it real easy and kind of do whatever we wanted and kind of just focus on the main things we wanted to repeat, because we crushed it that first day. It was pretty incredible.
How many rides did you get in that first day?
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I didn't count. We went on every ride except for 2 of them in Fantasyland, like that we didn't care about.
Like Snow White?
We went on Snow White. We didn't go on like Storybook Land, and we didn't go on.
That's the best one.
On one of the other ones. Yeah, we were look, I had never been to Star Wars Land. I'd never been to Galaxy's Edge. And so I wanted to focus on that. And so my brother was like, heck yeah, let's do it. So we went and
so if you said
over and over.
We want to do a Rise Resistance 2 times in a row, you could.
Or 5 or 10 or yeah.
Nobody likes you right now. I just want you to know nobody really likes you right now.
Well, that's why I said I hope Josh can appreciate it and not resent me. Because again, this wasn't a, hey guys, I have all this money. Look what I did because I'm cool. No, I feel like I was just a lucky tag along, and I really truly was. And it was unbelievable. Now, keep in mind, I grew up in Southern California, about 40 minutes away from Disneyland. So I'd been to Disneyland a lot of times in my life, and it was always fun. We'd just go and hang out as teenagers. But this was a whole different level of cool, because having this person stand with you, go through the line with you, talk to you about this thing. Here's all the hidden Mickeys. Here's this special stuff we can go and talk about or do or whatever. I mean, it was just really cool to have this like person take care of you all day.
Do they feed you?
They don't feed you for the massive price that comes with it. They don't feed you, but they sit there and eat with you. She got us to the front of those lines. I mean, it was just kind of a cool, it was a cool, it's a cool, like, I have too much money that I don't know what to do with it. And so, you know, take me around so I don't have to deal with the common folk.
Well, and that's, when you talk about plaids, so there's some Disney, I guess, lexicon here that, you know, you want to talk about. Like, plaids are what they wear. So, and you probably see them quite a bit walking around, and it's these individuals who are taking these people who've paid, you know, massive amounts of money for, you know, for that experience. And so that's why they get the name plaids, the nickname.
Okay.
They also do some other tours as well. I don't know if they still do. I can't remember if they brought it back yet, but like the In Walt's Footsteps tour that you can.
Oh, that's cool.
That you can do. And a few other tours during the year. But those aren't anything remotely close to what you experienced. But I'm jealous. And it's a good thing that we talked about your Beard Rizz before this story. Yes. So
yeah, I've been pampered the last couple of months. I mean, the cruise was a kind of a normal experience, which was great. But this Disney thing was very interesting because it was, again, kind of this once in a lifetime experience. It was very lucky that I was able to tag along for this, and that my kids' first time at Disney, look, they're not going to remember any of this. They're 4 and 2 years old.
Not at all.
Their first time at Disneyland, they got to go on literally every ride they could. I mean, my little boy is just big enough to go on just about every ride. And so that was fun. But I mean, it was something where, having been to Disneyland countless times, it was just a whole other level of awesome having literally, we would be at the front of a line, and there would be people talking about us as we walked by.
Oh,
and a guy would say, a guy would be like, honey, that's those people that take you to the front of the line. They're called VIP, blah, blah, blah. And we could like hear him talking about us as we were walking around the park. It was pretty crazy.
You should have worn like sunglasses or tried to look like you were.
I'm famous.
No.
Yeah. Like
a powdered wig. So there'd be like a French Revolution, and they're like, take down the rich. You know,
I'm pretty sure that you could probably pull yourself off of being like Ted, looking like Ted Lasso or something,
right? I've heard it, and so, man, if I had just been able to wear my Richmond jacket and maybe have a little visor on, could have pulled that off.
Just be given all like positive like anecdotes and everything.
So does that ruin it for you if you go to Disneyland, say in a couple of years with the kids? Does it ruin it, or is it just kind of like, hey, remember when?
So here's the deal. I've actually thought a lot about this. I'm going to give you guys two viewpoints on this. The first one, I'm just going to come out and say it. No, I didn't pay for this, but had I paid for it, not worth it.
Oh,
yeah.
Now, Disneyland is awesome, but understand how many times you could go to Disneyland for the cost of 10 hours of VIP.
Yeah.
Remember, we're talking $300 to $900 an hour.
Yeah.
For the cost of 1 hour, you could go again. Mm-hmm. And so if you think about it in that way, yes, it is, I mean, just fantastic. So this isn't for the people saving up for VIP. Look, I'm not going to get into economics here, but this isn't like, hey, honey, we've been saving up for a couple of years. Let's go do VIP. That is not the class of person this is for. This is for someone's company paid for this. I have so much money. Right. I don't know. I don't have the time to wait in line because I'm that guy. Yeah. And so that's who I would say this is for. I couldn't ever see myself paying for it. That said, the next 2 days were kind of awesome because yes, while we did have to wait in line and we were kind of grumbling about how cool yesterday was, we didn't really have to worry too much about getting to see and do everything because we had kind of had that chance. And so, yes, it did kind of stink having to go back to real life after having like the world handed to you on a platter. Sure. But Disneyland is still rad. I mean, I will tell you, here is a viewpoint from the guy who just spent, 10 minutes talking up how cool this was. I got to go to Galaxy's Edge and we ran through it so fast that I didn't actually get to do or see any of it. Oh, okay. All I did was go and get in the line from ride to ride to ride. The next day, we went to California Adventure, and the following day, we went back to Disneyland. And I spent like 4.5 hours in Galaxy's Edge, just walking around, going into every shop, looking at all the decor,
blue milk, all that kind of stuff.
Because and you don't do that when you're with your guide because you're trying to maximize the rides. Totally. Sorry, you can do whatever you want, but nobody hires a guide to walk around and do nothing for 4 hours.
Yeah, and look at shops, for sure.
Right. And so that's another thing you got to consider. Like, as a first timer to Disneyland, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, because you're not going at your own pace.
Yeah,
right. Okay,
exactly.
Okay, here's a serious question. I feel like this is going to be the pinnacle of Disney questions, so we have to ask everybody: which ride is better? Which one should they get rid of?
Yes.
Smuggler's Run or Star Tours?
Oh, one has to go.
One has to go.
I have an opinion of this, Josh. I'm going to go first.
And I need you to realize that most people wait for Smuggler's Run for about 55 minutes on average, right? Star Tours is not that long. So
used to be forever.
You need to take that into account, that you have an older ride and you have a newer ride. But where do you stand?
Okay, so I'm going to go first only because I just had my first experience with this. I know that Josh has probably been a few times. Look, Star Tours has the nostalgia factor. It's actually been updated since, I was a little kid, but it still has that nostalgia factor. Smuggler's Run, it was the brand new glitzy, holy cow, this is awesome. I went on Smuggler's Run twice, and I went on Star Tours twice. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I will tell you, I really didn't enjoy Smuggler's Run.
Were you the engineer?
I was the pilot and a gunner.
Yep.
And I don't mean at all as in it sucked. I mean, I understand it's very cool to have these interactive things where hit your buttons and fly the ship and steer it. That was cool-ish. It was fine. Yeah. All in all, I didn't love that there were 6 people in there all playing different roles. I kind of wish that, if I'm being honest, I wish that I could do all of the controlling. I'm a total video game guy, and it was kind of
totally, and you could. But imagine, if you will, that you're the gunner, and they at least give you a little pocket window that you're holding guns, and you're aiming at a screen, just like you would be in the Millennium Falcon, getting in that little gunner seat.
You're not just hitting buttons.
Or if you're an engineer, like you're not only you're hitting buttons, like, or whatever, you're literally like, it's a different division of it where you're filling everything rocking and you're playing whack-a-mole in a big way.
Right.
I don't know. There's so much more that could be done. Josh, I know you're a big Smuggler's Run fan.
Oh. Yes. And I'll finish by saying the entire line experience, incredible. The whole ambience of what they're doing with lines and queues now it's just unbelievable what they're doing with this stuff. It's such an immersive experience with them. I mean, in Rise of the Resistance, that's a whole other class of amazing.
That's anyway, a higher bar. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And Star Tours, the line is kind of just whatever.
Old school.
It is old school, but I will say, as far as this brand new ride, it is technologically fantastic. I didn't enjoy it as much as sitting and just going on a little choose your own adventure in Star Tours.
Yeah.
That's why I went first. Now let's hear it, Josh.
Well, if you listen to last week's episode, Casey.
And this is where that comes from, Casey.
I was on a cruise.
You were on a cruise.
Oh, Casey, you didn't listen to last week. So interesting. Okay.
Interesting, Kent. You and I are in the same boat.
At least you only have to listen to 45 minutes of a show, not 2.5 hours. But no, I'm not a fan of Star Tours. It's just...
Listen.
It's again, like I go back to it's no better than that stupid ride at the 49th Street Galleria.
Don't you dare 49th Street. Don't you dare do that. Listen.
The 49th Street Galleria ride is much better than Star Tours. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you better lock it up. My theory is that if they put it in Batuu, they move the ride, which they could. They're freaking Disney.
Oh, yeah.
And they gave it a pretty line. Everyone would be like, this is the greatest thing ever. Sure, we're sitting in a weird big cargo ship or whatever, but people would love it because the experience, like the two different journeys that somehow link up together, even though you're in different time periods, is great. And it feels more fun unless you're the pilot at one time. So anyway, Smuggler's Run, I feel like is a overrated arcade game. Star Tours holds up.
My man, Kent, I did not expect the agreeance here. I thought I was going to be the only one.
No, and I'm glad you were honest. Josh is a new school kid. So,
which is fine. By the way, there is nothing cooler than the Millennium Falcon. I mean, that Millennium Falcon sitting out there, it is unbelievable. The fact that they have a Millennium Falcon ride, 110% necessary.
Yeah,
absolutely. But I just wish that it was something else. I guess I don't know.
I mean,
it wasn't my favorite.
It can be better. I will not disagree with.
Yeah,
that.
like if it were different tracks for Smuggler's Run, I think it would be monumentally better.
Right,
but it's not. It's the same experience.
But yeah, they should move Star Tours over there.
They should.
Like it would be so much better.
And I think Smuggler's Run is taking up space for what could be way better Star Wars themed rides. Like think of a pod race ride. I mean, we've talked about this last week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
we just watched episode 1 like 2 weeks ago.
Or speed bike. I don't know. It could be better.
Yeah.
So
well, and that's a conversation probably for a whole other episode, maybe next week. Who knows?
I'm going to pitch this and we can talk about it later. Imagine a speed bike ride, but in the same kind of idea as Soar in the World or Soar in California, that ride in California Adventure. Just imagine being on those bikes and just ripping through forests or the snowscapes. I mean, can you just imagine like being way up in the air? Look, they could do a lot with Star Wars.
Yes, they can.
And they should. Okay.
And they should.
So, listen, Casey, I'm not going to blame you, but I feel like you're the anomaly here. So, we had a few other things planned for this show, but we've kind of been having fun with tangents. So, which is basically Beards for 14 minutes. It's fine.
Hey, we didn't even get your pitch for a other show cruise, so we might have to get that next week.
Yeah, which will never happen. Yeah. Anyways, we'll get there. It's fine. But let's save some stuff for next week. We're kind of, we may be pushing it anyways. But with all that said, Casey, once again, thank you. Are you coming back next week? Are we making you come back?
I will be back. I will be back next week. I'm excited.
You know that Spencer's going to be intimidated, right?
Spencer, I thought we had worked this out. Josh, Spencer's not going to be on the show anymore, right?
He was.
Kent, did you not know?
He was a little vague about it.
Listen, there's some PTSD with paternity leave. We talked about this. It's not okay to joke about. Spencer actually listens when he's not on. Anyways.
So how did you like my solo episode, Spencer?
Let's see if you did.
Notes. Yeah.
All right. With all that said, Josh, how about you take us out?
Absolutely. You've just listened to The Other Show, starring Kent Dunn, Josh Hansen, and Spencer Myers. The Other Show is produced by Kent Dunn, Josh Hansen, and Spencer Myers. Show design and audio editing is done by me, Josh Hansen, and sales manager is Spencer Myers. The Other Show is generously supported by our friends on Patreon. A huge thank you to our Friends with Benefits tier. These friends are contributing a minimum of $25 a month, which in return comes with some rather significant benefits, including the weekly off-the-cuff episodes of The Other Show, monthly bonus episodes, quarterly live Q&A shows, and exclusive swag and perks. A huge thank you to our favorite Brit, Jonathan Vaskar, the lovely and talented Mrs. Robinson, the one, the only Chris Anderson, Brandon from Popfly Cards, Lady Terry A. Finley, the proud Disney mom, Tanya Budge, the other Keith Brown, it's Rick, not Dick Smith, Dave, and of course, our newest friend with benefits, Melanie Milring. To support The Other Show on Patreon, visit patreon.com/The Other Show to join. Please rate, review, and subscribe to The Other Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, or wherever podcasts are found. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. To better connect with us and other fans of The Other Show, join our Facebook group, The Other Group. For past episodes, links to our other shows, and to shop for show swag, visit our website at theother.show. And remember, when you're not listening to me here on The Other Show, you can hear me on my other show, The Party in the Back.
You can hear me on my other show, Bacon Cell.
And yeah, you can find me on my VIP tour at Disneyland, where I'll be forever.